We got Jimmy Brown from UB40 on the show. Hello there, Jimmy. How's it going?
I'm doing very good, getting ready for the tour.
It's recently been the 40th anniversary of UB40, but is there a moment or a date when it first started for you?
Well, I suppose, don't forget, half the band went to school together, so we've known each other since we were about 11 years old.
Yeah.
So we were mates anyway, we were a gang anyway, and, we were in dead-end jobs. And we just decided, I think it was about, we eventually made the decision in 78, I think, to give up whatever jobs we'd got and concentrate 24/7 on getting a band together. The summer of 78, I would say, it was the time we started. But, it's a long time ago, so it's difficult to remember all the details.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So, UB40 right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first one that's made that joke.
Oh, damn, I thought I was. You were a group of mates who got together at school with no money and wanted to make a band, so it was pooling whatever money and resources you had together to get that dream.
Yeah, everything went towards getting the band together, it was... I remember one of the guys with the guitar had to nail the neck of this guitar onto the body just to make it work. And, I managed to get hold of a drum kit that had been in a fire. So we had to clean it up and, so we were doing everything we could to get instruments cheap. Because, of course, when you're famous later, they give you instruments for free. But in those days, it's really expensive, so we had to scrape. And we're all on £13.50 a week on the dole.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy, but, we were determined, so we went ahead and just pushed and did it, and it worked for us miraculously.
I heard somewhere that it was a Bob Marley gig that you went to watch that sort of spurred you on a little bit.
Well, you could see, we all went to see Bob Marley in 1976 at the local Odeon, which is pretty early on.
Yeah.
We didn't get really big until the following tour after that, which was the Babylon by Bus tour. But we went to see him at the local Odeon, and it was just gave you the idea of how powerful being in a band could be, and how powerful reggae music is if there's messages that you want to. If there are serious subjects you want to tackle, reggae can do that, as well as being dance music and lovers music. And, so it's quite a powerful style of music, and that's something that we always loved. That's what kept us together, is our love of reggae.
Yeah, and I suppose UB40 brought reggae to the masses, especially in the UK. I know you went on to do it all over the world, but in the UK, you're probably a lot of people's first listen to reggae.
Yeah, we didn't really realise that at the time, because we were living in an area where reggae was really popular, obviously, because of a lot of immigrants from the Caribbean, from Jamaica especially. And, that was the area that we lived in the city area. So the reggae was coming out of every house and every car. And it was just the music that really grabbed us at the time.
Yeah, and you went on to sell 100 million records. That couldn't be replicated now, but there's a dream and a half there.
Well, yeah, I went to see, when we went to see Bob Marley back in 1976, I had this dream of being a drummer in a reggae band, it was a ridiculous dream, a young white kid from the inner city Birmingham, but then we ended up being the biggest reggae band in the world, so that's a fulfillment of a dream that I suppose a lot of people don't get that opportunity, so I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, yeah, and besides selling the records, it's just the footprint you made in the world. First band, Western band to play in Russia. You took a while, but you got a #1 in America, which is quite difficult for bands to do. So, a young kid coming from Birmingham to do all that is just amazing.
It's incredible, yeah, and also, the music has travelled that far that a couple of years back we went to Samoa to celebrate 50 years of independence in Samoa. And 20,000 people turn up, about 15-20% of the island, whole island, all singing our tunes, and you're thinking, well, this is as far as you can go in the world without coming back on yourself. And they know the music just as much as they do at home in England, and it's a wonderful experience to have that welcome all the way around the world by so many different people.
Yeah, and the messages that you've said that reggae can bring in a time when you came out of change and unrest, it's very similar to the time now, and that's why the music's still popular.
Yeah, I think I think to some degree we've been vindicated because we started in the 80s and we were very anti-Thatcher, and it seems to me that all the things that we warned about then have come to fruition now. I mean, when you look at the housing crisis, the banking crisis, the reduction of the welfare state, this is all stuff that we were complaining about back in the 1980s. And the mess we're in now can be traced back directly to those days, you know. So I think we were vindicated. We were right then, and we're right now, you know, that the Tories are antisocial. You know, they hate working people, and it's quite obvious, even more obvious today, you know. So I don't think things have changed that much.
Getting on to the gigs now, do you have a favourite song that you like to perform?
I mean, obviously, there's the obvious one of Red, Red Wine, which everybody sings when we play it. Everybody in the whole audience is singing along, and that's great fun. But really, you know, we like playing new material as well. Yeah. So we've got the new album coming out, and we're looking forward to playing some brand new tunes, which I'm sure we'll enjoy playing.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, putting a set list together must be impossible because you've got that many classics yourself that you've written, the cover versions and the new stuff. It must be a bit of a nightmare, a bit of a headache.
Well, yeah, I mean, apparently we've recorded 550 tunes. So, you know, obviously if we were to play all of them, we'd be doing it for several days. So, but there are always numbers that we miss out, and somebody will come up to us afterwards and go, "Oh, you didn't play so-and-so, that's my favourite, that is." But, you know, we've got so many tracks to play that somebody's always going to be disappointed that we're going to miss something out. But we try and cover as much of our 40 years of our career, especially now that it's our 40th anniversary. We're going to cover as much of our careers as we can, as well as introducing some new material.
Yeah, the songs you've written like stand out a mile, but the cover versions that you've done, some people didn't know they were covers because you made them your own and they were bigger than the originals, like Red Red Wine's a Neil Diamond song, Homely Girl. A lot of people hadn't heard these songs before.
Yeah, I think certainly with Red Red Wine, which is one of our biggest hits, that and Can't Help Falling in Love are our two biggest hits. But I think with Red Red Wine especially, because it's not a familiar song, I think people think that it's our tune, you know, that they relate that to us more than maybe Can't Help Falling in Love because people know that was an Elvis tune. So, you know, I think that, Red Red Wine is really the song that we're most known for it. I think people think we wrote it, but we didn't.
Yeah, you collaborated with so many great people, including Beanie Man, Patu Banton, 808 State Madness, Robert Palmer, Chrissy Hyde, Africa Bambaataa, just to name a few. Is there anyone you'd like to work with, or anyone you nearly did work with?
Well, funnily enough, we're working with some great artists on the new album, because we've had some collaborations, and we're actually releasing 3 albums eventually over the year. The first one was released on Friday, which is For the Many, which is our studio album. We've also got a dub album, and we've got a collaborations album where we're using artists that we used in the original. We did an album called Bag of Rhythm back in the 80s, using local rappers and toasters. And we're using the same ones again this time round, 20-odd years later. 30 years later, actually. And we're also working with Inner Circle, a classic old reggae act, and some newer ones, a guy called Black Hero from Jamaica, and Kabaka Pyramid, both Jamaican artists, will be on the new album as well. So we love working with people, and I mean, obviously, I think in the end, if we're given a choice of who we'd like to record with, who we haven't recorded with, I think probably Stevie Wonder would be top of the list.
Yeah,
well, just because we were brought up, you know, he's our generation. He's the Mozart of pop music, isn't he?
Oh, he's amazing, Stevie Wonder is. Yeah, I can imagine.
We have met him. We have met him a couple of times, and we've never been able to work together.
The tour starts at the end of this month, and you're taking Stoke on the 14th of April, where we are. It's just up the road from Birmingham, so you played here quite a few times in the past. Have you got any memories of Stoke-on-Trent?
Well, we're not far from Stoke, are we? It's I'm just trying to remember what venue we're playing, because I'm just
Victoria Hall.
Okay, yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's always Stoke's a working class area, and it's always nice to play in working class areas because people tend to have more of a party, when on a Friday or Saturday night. So it's always nice playing, especially when it's local, because we'll be just driving down the road doing the gig and then coming back home and sleeping in our own beds, which is very nice, So, yeah, I mean, I think that's all part of that Midlands vibe, I love the Midlands, I must admit, and I love Birmingham.
Yeah. There's 38 dates on the tour. Why not 40?
Well, we thought there was 40, but there you go. I'm not sure why there isn't 40. I thought there was 40, but maybe there isn't. I always thought that was the intention. Anyway, I'm not sure whether there may be more shows going on. I know it's looking like it's going to be sold out, so... maybe we will include a couple of more shows as we're going along. It's over quite a length of time, over 3 months, so anything can happen, I think.
Of course. Is there going to be any festival outdoor appearances as well?
Not sure. We did do a lot of festivals this year. We tend to do a lot of festivals in Europe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, there are lots of little sort of, a lot of new festivals that are coming up, which we love to do. Playing those big sort of commercial elephantine festivals can be a bit of a pain, really. But it's nice to see lots of different sort of like bespoke festivals springing up around. They seem to be more popular. I think a few struggled last year, but it was a great year. The weather was brilliant, so let's hope we get weather as good this year.
Well, Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I think every one of our listeners has got a favourite UB40 song out of the 500 or so you've made. Good luck with the tour, and you take care.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking to you.